China is building the future. Fast. Bridges that stretch across entire canyons, skyscrapers that seem to touch the clouds, and airports rising from the ocean like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's happening right now, and the scale of these projects is absolutely mind-blowing. Over the last few decades, China has completely reshaped its skylines, its roads, and even its landscapes. But what they're working on today, it makes everything before look small. We're talking about mega projects so massive they don't just change cities, they change entire regions. So let's dive in. From the highest bridges to the biggest airports, here are 10 of China's most shocking mega projects currently in the works. Buckle up, because this is next-level engineering. Project 1. Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge. Alright, let's start big, and I mean really big. The Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge is currently under construction in China's Guizhou province, and when it's finished, it will be the highest bridge in the world. Not just in China, not just in Asia, the world. Now, when I say high, I'm not talking about some measly 500 feet off the ground. This bridge will soar 2,050 feet above the canyon floor. That's about 9 times taller than the Golden Gate Bridge and literally twice the height of the Eiffel Tower. If you have a fear of heights, just looking at this thing might make you dizzy. So why build it so high? Well, Guizhou is full of deep canyons and rugged terrain. Before this bridge, if you wanted to get from one side of the canyon to the other, you had 2 options. Drive for an hour down winding roads, or hop in a boat and pray you don't get seasick. With the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge, that journey will take just a couple of minutes. But this isn't just a crazy feat of engineering, it's also insanely expensive. The total cost? Around $2.8 billion for a single bridge. But China's not building it just to break records, it's all about connectivity. The bridge will be a crucial part of the larger highway system designed to boost trade and tourism in this region. And if that's not impressive enough, let's not forget, this is only one of China's many massive bridges currently under construction. At this point, it's like they're trying to see just how many world records they can break. Project 2. Beijing Military Command Center. Now, while China is out here breaking records with bridges, they're also working on something a little more secretive. About 30 kilometers southwest of Beijing, China is quietly constructing one of the largest military command centers in the world. And when I say quietly, I mean they're not exactly putting up billboards announcing it. Satellite images show massive underground bunkers, deep tunnels, and an enormous complex covering around 1,500 acres. That's basically the size of a small city. The idea here is simple. If a major conflict breaks out, China needs a secure, undisruptible command center where its military leadership can operate, no matter what's happening above ground. Think about it. Traditional military bases are vulnerable. A well-placed missile or airstrike could knock them out. But an underground fortress? That's a different story. This facility is designed to survive anything. Bombs, cyber attacks, even nuclear strikes. And it's not just a bunker. Reports suggest this place will have advanced AI-driven defense systems, massive communication hubs, and the ability to coordinate military operations across the country in real time. If that sounds a little intense, well, it is. This project is a reminder that while China is pushing the boundaries of infrastructure and technology, they're also preparing for a future where military strategy is just as important as economic growth. Alright, that was a little heavy, so let's lighten things up with something a little more eco-friendly. A mega project that could literally change how the world generates electricity. Project 3. Medog Hydropower Station. High up in the Himalayas, in one of the most remote parts of Tibet, China is working on a project so ambitious that it makes the Three Gorges Dam look small. And if you know anything about the Three Gorges Dam, you know that's saying something. Welcome to the Medog Hydropower Station, a massive hydroelectric dam that, when completed, is expected to generate a staggering 60 gigawatts of power. That's about 3 times more than the Three Gorges Dam, which is already the largest power station on Earth. Let's put that into perspective. 60 gigawatts is enough electricity to power more than half of the entire United Kingdom, from one dam. So why here? Why in the middle of nowhere in Tibet? Well, the dam is being built on the Yarlung Tsangpo River, which just so happens to be one of the most powerful rivers on the planet. As it flows down from the Tibetan Plateau, it drops thousands of feet in elevation, creating the perfect conditions for hydroelectric power. Now, as cool as this sounds, not everyone is thrilled about it. First off, it's ridiculously expensive. We're talking about a project that could cost over $150 billion when all is said and done. That's more than the GDP of some countries. Then there's the environmental impact. Large-scale dams like this completely alter river ecosystems, affecting local wildlife and communities downstream. And that's where things get really complicated. See, the Yarlung Po doesn't just stay in China. It eventually flows into India and Bangladesh, where millions of people rely on it for water. And as you can imagine, they're not exactly thrilled about China controlling the source of one of their most important rivers. This has already led to some serious geopolitical tension, with India raising concerns about potential water shortages and China reassuring everyone that, hey, everything's fine, don't worry about it. But when a country is building a dam this massive, people tend to worry. That said, if the Maydog hydropower station works as planned, it could become one of the most important renewable energy projects in history. China is already the world leader in hydropower, and this dam could take things to a whole new level. So, in short, it's huge, it's controversial, and it might just be the future of clean energy. Project 4. Chengdu Tianfu International Airport, the world's smartest airport. Alright, let's take a break from dams and bridges and talk about something a little more high-tech. China has been on a mega airport building spree for years, but the Chengdu Tianfu International Airport is next level. Now, China already has some of the busiest airports on the planet, including Beijing Daxing, the one that looks like a giant alien spaceship, but Chengdu Tianfu, it's not just big, it's smart. This airport is designed to be the most advanced AI-powered airport in the world. We're talking about facial recognition check-ins, fully automated baggage handling, and an AI-driven air traffic control system that can manage flights with pinpoint accuracy. And let's talk about size. The first base of Tianfu International is already massive, covering almost 130 square kilometers. That's bigger than some entire cities. It has 2 gigantic terminals and 3 runways, but that's just the beginning. By 2035, the plan is to double its capacity, making room for 120 million passengers a year. To put that into perspective, that's more than the entire population of Germany flying through one airport annually. So why is China investing so much in this? Simple. Chengdu is exploding as a global tech and business hub. It's home to massive companies, a booming economy, and an increasing number of international travelers. And this airport, it's designed to turn Chengdu into a major gateway between China and the rest of the world. Oh, and one more thing. If you've ever been frustrated by airport security lines, Chengdu Tianfu has a solution for that. Their automated security screening system can process passengers in record time, meaning you might actually make it to your gate without wanting to tear your hair out. Alright, from the future of air travel, let's move to the future of entire cities. Project 5. Xiong'an, China's futuristic smart city. Imagine if you could build an entire city from scratch, designed to be fully sustainable, ultra-connected, and completely futuristic. Well, that's exactly what China is doing with Xiong'an, a brand new metropolis about 100 kilometers southwest of Beijing. China is no stranger to massive urban development, but Xiong'an isn't just another mega city. It's being built as a city of the future, designed to relieve overcrowding in Beijing while pioneering new ways to integrate technology, sustainability, and urban planning. Now, this project is massive. The government is investing over $500 billion into turning 1,770 square kilometers of land, which was mostly farmland, into a next-gen metropolis. But what makes it so special? Well, for starters, it's entirely AI-driven. Everything from traffic flow to energy usage will be managed by artificial intelligence. The city will be powered by 100% renewable energy, filled with self-driving cars, and designed with zero-emission public transport. Oh, and here's the kicker, Xiong'an will have no traditional traffic lights. The city's roads and intersections will be designed in a way that lets autonomous vehicles flow naturally without stopping. No red lights, no honking, no road rage. But let's be real, China has tried building smart cities before, and some of them have ended up as ghost towns. So will Xiong'an actually succeed? Well, the difference here is the government is actively relocating businesses and universities to Xiong'an to make sure people actually live and work there. And with China pushing to become the world leader in AI and smart technology, this city might just be a glimpse into the urban future the rest of the world is heading towards. Project 6. The Shenzhen-Zhongshan Mega Bridge, a 24-kilometer highway over the ocean. Okay, time to talk about another insane bridge project, because apparently China is on a mission to build the world's most impressive road networks. Meet the Shenzhen-Zhongshan Mega Bridge, a 24-kilometer-long highway project that will connect the bustling city of Shenzhen with Zhongshan, cutting travel time between them from 2 hours to just 20 minutes. Now, 24 kilometers over water is already impressive, but what makes this project even crazier is that it's not just a bridge, it's also a tunnel. Here's how it works. Part of the route is a massive cable-stayed bridge, but then, halfway across, it dives underwater into artificially constructed tunnel beneath the ocean. This means ships can still pass through the area without needing to worry about a gigantic bridge blocking their way. And this isn't just a cool engineering flex. Shenzhen is one of China's biggest tech and finance hubs, and Zhongshan is rapidly growing as a major economic center. Connecting these two cities directly will supercharge trade, business, and development in the entire region. But of course, building something this complex over the ocean isn't cheap. The total cost? Around $6.7 billion. That's a lot of money for a road, but given how much economic activity is expected to generate, China considers it a long-term investment in its future. So let's sum this up. China is building a bridge that turns into an underwater tunnel just so they can save travelers a little over an hour of commute time. If that doesn't scream mega project ambition, I don't know what does. Project 7. Jinan's Sponge City, the flood-proof urban experiment. Alright, we've talked about skyscrapers, bridges, airports, and entire cities, but let's switch gears for a second and talk about something that could literally save cities from drowning. Meet Jinan, one of the first cities in China to become a fully functional sponge city. And no, that doesn't mean it's made of sponges, but the idea is kind of the same. This city is designed to absorb water, like a sponge, to help prevent flooding, water shortages, and pollution. Here's the problem. China has a serious urban flooding issue. Because of rapid urbanization, a lot of cities are covered in concrete and asphalt, which means when heavy rain hits, there's nowhere for the water to go. Streets flood, rivers overflow, and entire neighborhoods get wiped out. The solution? A city designed to soak up and store rainwater instead of letting it destroy everything in its path. Jinan has been completely restructured to include permeable pavements that let rainwater seep into the ground instead of pooling on roads, green rooftops that absorb water and reduce runoff, massive underground water storage systems to capture excess rainfall for future use. And the results? A 70% reduction in urban flooding. That's insane! Plus, all the collected water can be reused for irrigation, drinking water, or cooling buildings. China is now rolling out sponge city technology to dozens of other cities, proving that when it comes to climate change and urban planning, they're not just thinking big, they're thinking smart. Project 8. The Yangtze River Skytrain, the world's highest suspended rail. Okay, let's get back to transportation, because China is not just building roads and bridges, it's also reinventing how people travel through mountains. Enter the Yangtze River Skytrain, a futuristic suspended monorail that will glide over rivers and mountains at heights never seen before. Now, monorails aren't new, but this one? It's a record breaker. The train will hang from tracks suspended over 200 meters above the Yangtze River, making it the highest suspended rail system in the world. So why build a train like this? Well, the Yangtze River region is insanely mountainous, and traditional railways would require massive tunnels and bridges. Instead, China decided, why not just hang the train from the sky? This system is fully electric, meaning zero emissions, cheaper than building underground metro systems, and designed to give passengers insane panoramic views of the landscape below. The first section of the train is already under construction, and when finished, it could become a model for other cities looking to solve their transportation problems with high-tech, eco-friendly solutions. So, if you ever wanted to ride a floating train over a river, China is making it happen. Project 9. Shanghai Tower 2. The next tallest building in China. Alright, let's talk about skyscrapers, because China is still pushing the limits of how high humans can build. You've probably heard of the Shanghai Tower, the second tallest building in the world at 632 meters, or 2,073 feet. But guess what? China isn't satisfied with second place. They're now planning Shanghai Tower 2, a 1,000-meter tall skyscraper designed to become the tallest building in China and one of the tallest on the planet. That's right, 1 kilometer straight into the sky. Now, details are still a little secretive, but here's what we know. The building will use next-gen materials that are lighter and stronger than steel. It will be powered entirely by renewable energy. It will have one of the fastest elevators in the world, traveling at over 60 kilometers per hour, or 37 miles an hour. But why build something that ridiculously tall? Well, Shanghai is one of the world's biggest financial hubs, and this tower is meant to symbolize China's dominance in the global economy. Plus, let's be honest, who doesn't want to build a super tower just to say they did it? So if you thought skyscrapers couldn't get any taller, China is proving that the sky is not the limit. Project 10. China's Space Solar Power Station, beaming energy from space. Alright, we've talked about crazy bridges, futuristic cities, and record-breaking skyscrapers. But what about energy from space? Yeah, China is working on that too. Right now, they're developing the world's first space-based solar power station, a massive satellite that will literally collect energy from the sun in space and beam it back to Earth using microwaves. If that sounds like science fiction, well, it kind of is, but China is dead serious about making it happen. The idea is simple. A giant solar farm is placed in orbit where sunlight is constant and uninterrupted. The station converts solar energy into microwaves. Those microwaves are beamed down to a receiver on Earth. The receiver converts the microwaves back into electricity. Now, this might sound crazy, but if it works, it could change the world. Unlike solar panels on Earth, which only work during the day, a space-based solar power station could generate energy 24/7, regardless of weather or time of year. The first prototype station is expected to launch by 2028, with a fully operational system by 2050. And if it succeeds, it could revolutionize how the world gets its energy, providing limitless clean power without relying on fossil fuels. So yeah, while the rest of the world is still debating wind and solar farms, China's literally building a power plant in space. So there you have it, 10 of China's most shocking mega projects that are either in the works or already under construction. From record-breaking bridges to floating trains, flood-proof cities, and power plants in space, China is proving that when it comes to big, bold, and mind-blowing engineering, they're leading the way. Of course, not all of these projects are without controversy. Some have huge environmental concerns, others have geopolitical implications, and some are so ambitious that people aren't even sure they'll work. But one thing's for sure, China isn't slowing down anytime soon. So which of these projects blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more insane mega projects from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.